Okay, let's say you wanted to make a speedster character in 5e, like the Flash or Quicksilver or whatever. So here's the rules we're going to follow. One, everything has to be rules as written and no homebrew or anything like that. We are fine with flavoring things or reskinning things. So, for example, I am going to pick a tabaxi for this build. So that's fine. So let's see how close we can get. We are also going to be pumping this up to level 20 because most superheroes are like crazy OP anyway, and we are going to allow ourselves two wondrous items in particular to accomplish this build. So who cares what the name is? Set it to private. That's good. So we are going to go ahead and start with the Tabaxi. Why Tabaxi get this ability? Excuse me. Your reflexes and agility allow you to move with a burst of speed. When you move on your turn in combat, you can double your speed until the end of turn. That is going to be relevant. Pop over here to class. We are going to want to grab Monk. And surprisingly, perhaps, we are also going to want to grab Wizard. All right, let's go ahead and bump over here. This is going to be a little bit suboptimal when it comes to attribute spread because of how it all has to shake out, but I think it's going to be okay. So we're going to go ahead. We're not going to worry about our strength. We're going to get our dexterity up. We're going to get our intelligence up, and we're going to get our wisdom up. We don't care about our charisma. Let's go ahead and take our constitution up. Let's see if we can play around with this. Can we get everything to... Can I get you up anymore? No. Wisdom up? No. I'll bump charisma up one more. Actually, you know what? Let's take this down to this down to this, and see. Yes, yeah. Oh, I still have one more point. Can I get this up, Nate? Still have one more point. Well, you can go like that. There we go. Good enough. Class. Monk and Wizard. I know the Wizard is probably a surprise, but there's a reason. Okay. Monk, we're going to take it all the way up to level 15. So the nice thing about a monk, so we're doing a speedster character, right? So we're going to want to theme everything as close to that as possible. Obviously, movement speed is going to be a big deal, but that's not like the only power that speedsters have. So we're going to want to try to incorporate all of that. Proficiencies, not going to matter too much. Athletics, acrobatics, grab some random skill. Good, good, good. So what we're going to be worrying about here, well, base monk, you get unarmored movement, which gets you extra movement speed so long as you're not wearing armor or a shield. Up to level 15, actually specifically at level 14, that bumps up to an extra 25 feet. Now, because we don't go all the way in monk, we are missing out on the fully upgraded unarmored movement, which is 30 feet, but that's going to end up not mattering, and I will show you why. For monastic tradition, we're going to go ahead and grab the Drunken Master, because a lot of Drunken Master abilities can actually be skinned as speedster abilities pretty easily. So let's go ahead and through this one by one. Deflect missiles is a base monk ability. That makes sense. Speedsters are always catching bullets and stuff. Seems nice and thematic. The unarmored movement bump also seems nice and thematic. For Drunken Masters, though, they also get Drunken Technique, which means that when you use your Flurry of Blows bonus action, you gain the benefit of the Disengage action, which seems appropriate for speedsters. They're supposed to be hard to hit, but also your walking speed increases by 10, so that's nice. Go ahead and grab the mobile feat while we're at it. Where's the mobile feet? Passed it up. There we go. Mobile feet, which gets you another 10 feet of movement base, which is rather nice. Unarmored movement, a little bit at level 6, goes up to 15. Tipsy Sway, you get this at 6th level. This is a specifically Drunken Master ability. When you're prone, you can stand up by spending 5 feet of movement rather than half your speed. I think that makes a lot of sense. Speedsters could probably get up pretty quickly. And when a creature misses you with a melee attack roll, you can spend 1 key point as a reaction to cause that attack to hit one creature of your choice, other than your attacker that you can see. Also, I think that seems like something a speedster could do. I think that's very cool. Evasion gets you the ability to dodge out of way stuff easier. I think that makes sense. Go ahead and just bump up our Dex and our int. That'll be good enough. A little bit more unarmored movement, level 10, up to 20 feet. Drunkard's Luck. This is another Drunken Master ability. Starting at 11th level, you always seem to get a lucky bounce at the right moment. When you make an ability check, an attack roll, or a saving throw, and have disadvantage on the roll, you can spend 2 key points to cancel the disadvantage for that roll. I think you could flavor this as like a slowed down perception of time. That's a very common trope for speedsters, so I think that kind of makes sense there. Let's grab a little bit more dex and a bit more wisdom. There we go. And then finally, let's see. Are we missing out on... There we go. That's good enough. Okay. So by doing it this way, we are missing out on an ability. You could... There's different ways to do this. If you wanted to take out the 17th level, you get this ability. When you use your Flurry of Blows, you can make up to 3 additional attacks with it, up to a total of 5 Flurries of Blows attacks, which I think does kind of make sense that a speedster would be able to do like a bunch of rapid fire punches, but by doing it this way we get some extra cool stuff. So let's go ahead and just keep it this way. There are other there's more than one way you could try and make this character. This is just kind of my take. So then for wizard, we're going to want to bump this up to 5. Because importantly, you get 3rd level spells at level. You get access to level 3 spells once you're a level 5 wizard, which means you get the haste ability. So arcane tradition, we're gonna have blade singing. Let's go ahead. Doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and grab a rapier. Sure, that's good enough. Blade song. You can invoke an elven magic called the Blade Song. As long as you're not wearing medium or heavy armor or using a shield, you can use a bonus action to activate it, which lasts for 1 minute. And it gets you a bonus to your AC equal to your intelligence modifier, but you also get an extra 10 feet of walking movement, plus advantage on dexterity checks, plus a bonus to constitution saving throws made to maintain concentration. And we are going to grab another feat to finish us off. We're going to grab the charger feat. Where did that go? There was a charger feat. Maybe there's a requirement for it that I can't remember. Interesting. If I bump my strength up a little bit, is it the strength? Nah, I'm not gonna worry about it. You know what? We'll just give it to him for free, maybe. It's not gonna matter. The charger feat is nice because it gets you like a cool thematic ability for speedsters, but it's not gonna be important enough for me to worry about, and I will figure out later. There's got to be some sort of prerequisite for it that I'm missing, but I will look that up later. What does Crusher do? Strength of Constitution. Nah. We'll just go ahead and get some more ability scores boosted. We'll grab our Dex and our Int to round that out. Hawkeye. Abilities already set. Description, not going to matter that much. We'll grab Urchin. If only because Urchin does have the City Secrets abilities. When you're not in combat, you and your companions, you lead can travel between any 2 locations in the city twice as fast as your speed would normally allow, which, again, a little bit thematic. For equipment, not going to matter too much. We can get some light armor. Remember, if you get medium or heavy armor, the Blade Song no longer works. Grab that. We'll grab a rapier. And then we'll grant ourselves, you're a level 20 character. You would have some wondrous items by this point. So we're going to grab the Boots of Speed. And we're going to grab a Ghost Step Tattoo. And I will explain why we grab those in a minute. Let's go ahead and hop over to our finished character sheet. Hawkeye. So let's go ahead and equip and attune these. Boop, boop. Hawkeye. So the Boots of Speed, it makes you faster. That one's obvious. Ghost Step Tattoo. So a common ability that speedsters have in the comics is the ability to vibrate their molecules fast enough so that they can phase through solid objects. I don't know about the physics about that working out, but it is a common comic book ability. And the Ghost Step Tattoo actually kind of mimics a lot of those abilities. So the tattoo has 3 charges, regains all expended charges daily at dawn. As a bonus action, while the tattoo is on your skin, you can expend one of the tattoo's charges to become incorporeal until the start of your next turn. So you get resistance to damage, you can't be grappled, and the big one, you can move through creatures and solid objects as if they were difficult terrain. If you end your turn in a solid object, you take 1d10 force damage, and a few other little things. So I think that is cool. Now, because we are a level 5 wizard, we do get some spells. I'm not too worried about... You can kind of pick what you want. One of the rules I am following here is I don't care if there's extra stuff. Like, obviously, speedsters can't cast fireballs for the most part, although... Actually, there are some abilities they have where they kind of shoot lightning. I know Barry Allen does that. But anyway, point is, I'm not worried about there being, like, extra stuff. I don't think there's anything in the cantrips that seems super, like, on theme for a speedster. So we'll go ahead and ignore that one. But at first level, we're not going to worry about Expeditious Retreat, and I'll explain why in a second. I'll explain why right now. Monks, as a baseline ability, get Step of the Wind, which means you can burn, I believe it is 1 key point, maybe 2, but I'm pretty sure it's 1, to allow you to bonus action dash. Expeditious Retreat just gets you a bonus action dash, so I'm not super worried about that. What we do want, though, is... Where did it go? We want Long Strider. So Long Strider, it's not concentration, lasts for an hour, and it boosts speed by 10 feet, or walking speed by 10 feet. The target... Oh, it actually just says speed. That is interesting, so that technically would count for flight. Pay attention sometimes with these. Sometimes it says walking speed, sometimes it just says speed. Kind of important sometimes. Not for our character because they don't fly, but, could be important. And I don't think anything else really seems themed for a speedster, so bump up to level 2. At level 2, you can grab... Where did it go? Kinetic Jaunt. It's a bonus action, concentration 1 minute. Walking speed increases by 10 feet. Don't provoke opportunity attacks. You can move through the space of another creature, and it doesn't count as difficult terrain, but also you can take force damage if you end your turn in another creature's space. Again, very thematic, works very well. Do note that it is concentration and only lasts a minute. I also think you could meaningfully grab... Where did it go? Mirror Image. I think that one's nice and, flavored nicely for a speedster. Finally, however, what we want to grab is a 3rd level haste. Boom. So let's go ahead and prepare all that. Okay. So let's just go ahead and focus. Obviously, there's all kinds of abilities you can have because you're a monk and you're a blade and you're a wizard. You can cast other spells. You get bonuses to AC. You get... Oh, did I already take Charger? I don't remember taking this. Interesting. Oh, you know what? I think I added this on earlier when I was messing around with this. Yeah, I think that's probably why I couldn't see. That makes sense. That's why I couldn't see it, is because I added it artificially. Well, I'll just go ahead and delete it because we are sticking to rules as written. Okay, so obviously there's a bunch of different abilities you have. You get your Monk's abilities, you got your Flurry of Blows, your Patient Defense, you got your Unarmed Strikes, you got your Slow Fall, you got all your Monk stuff. You also can obviously do like a Stunning Strike, your typical Monk stuff. But let's just go ahead and focus on how fast can you move in a single turn with everything, what is the absolute max speed you theoretically could attain. So let's go ahead and grab this. So a Tabaxi has a base speed of 30, and then Mobile gets another 10, so that gets us up to 40. And then where are we at with our Monk? I think it's a 15 for the Monk's fully upgraded unarmored movement. Yes, 25 for our fully upgraded unarmored movement. So that gets us up to a base speed of 65 before doing anything else. But, of course, we can do other stuff. So we can activate our Long Strider, which gets us another 10 feet, and that is not concentration and lasts for an hour. We can also activate our Blade Song, which gets us another 10 feet. Of course, I believe that only lasts 1 minute, but now we're up to 85. Very respectable. So then we can start adding in the good stuff. So let's go ahead and hop over here. Boots of Speed. When you activate them, you get basically at 10 minutes where the boots double your walking speed. Now, granted, there is some. It's not entirely 100% clear to me how like all this adds on the stack. I think everything just doubles and then doubles and then doubles. Technically, there are certain interpretations of how this works that could just mean you don't double the doubles, you just double the base and then add that together. Anyway, assuming that this all works the way that I think it does, so we get 85. So let's double it once for the Boots of Speed. Very good. Then our racial ability as a tabaxi gets us feline agility. When you move in your turn of combat, you can double your speed at the end of turn. Once used, you can't use this trait again until you move 0 feet on one of your turns. So we get another doubling. Double. Boop. But then, let's go ahead and say we activate haste on ourselves. Do note that kinetic jaunt is concentration, so you can't have kinetic jaunt and haste active at the same time. But haste is the better of the two. So haste, once again, target speed is doubled, so we get another doubling of our speed. So that's nice. So we're up to 680 feet base movement. Very good. But let's go ahead and see if we can do any better. Remember that you can use your movement. There are ways of using your movement more than once per turn. So this is our movement, 680 feet. Let's go ahead and pull up my notepad again so I can keep track of this. 680 feet. But then we can go ahead and use our regular action on a dash, which gets you another movement of 680 feet. Then you could, through the monk ability, burn a key point to Step of the Wind, bonus action dash. So you get another movement. And then note the language on haste. And it gains an additional action on each of its turn. That action can only be used to take the attack, one weapon attacks only. Dash, disengage, hide, use an object. So we can also, as long as haste is active, we can get another movement out of ourselves. Which means, in total, we are getting, assuming everything is active, we're getting at least one turn where we are moving 2,720 feet in one round, which is 6 seconds. So, goodness, let me see if my math's right about here. So let's go ahead and 6 seconds. Let's turn that into 6 minutes by multiplying by 60. So we have 6 minutes here. Times 5 gets us 30 minutes. Times 2 gets us a full hour. So in an hour, you are moving 1,632,000 feet in a mile. I can't remember exactly how many feet are in a mile, but I think it is roughly 5,000. So let's go ahead and divide by 5,000. So you're moving around-ish 300 miles per hour, which is not too bad. It's not really close to comic book speedster levels, but it's not too shabby. So yeah, that is how I would, or at least one way of recreating a speedster in the 5e system. Thank you so much for watching, folks.